metal duct tape. This is a self-adhesive tape found in a hardware store. It's used for actually covering ductwork in homes. The wonderful thing about this is it could be run through with an embossing folder, it could be run right through a die cutting machine so you can get textured. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this duct tape, run it through our embossing folder in the die cut machine, and we got our piece that we will use. We will take a washer, trace around the washer twice, and then you cut out the first image a little bit larger than the washer so that you have just a little bit extra to fold over the edges of the washer. And if you use a tool, I'm just using a chopstick at the time, I'm just using a chopstick and I'm just rolling over to burnish around the edges so that it will be smooth. The second piece that you cut out will be cut out just within the inside of the line that you have traced out, so that when we take the protective paper off and we place it centered on the washer, you just push it flat and burnish it, and then you have smooth edges. Okay, the next step we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the wonderful ColorBox Archival dye ink pads. So these are the more permanent type of dye inks. But being dye ink, the ink is going to be kind of a transparent effect, so that the metallic shimmer from the tape is going to show right through, and you're going to get this wonderful shimmer. And as you see, when I apply the ink, it's very rich and it's a very beautiful color. I'm going to slip this washer onto my tool, and then we place the washer over it, because the washer itself is going to get extremely hot once we heat it with the heat gun. The ink is not going to dry very quickly if we just let it dry forever, so we sprinkle some embossing powder on top of the inked washer and heat it with a heat gun just until it's melted. So we want to keep it from overheating. So we just will let it sit here on this little tool. I'll move it around and cool it down a little bit. So once it's cooled down, we will go and add a little bit more embossing powder, and then we'll heat it again. But if we want more intense color, take the washer off the tool, we go ahead and take the ink pad, do the ink pad again direct to paper to add more color. Then we can pick it back up on the tool and add embossing powder and heat it again. If we want to add another little embellishment to this, we could add a little bit of black. And what I'll do is I will take my Stylus tool and I will dab on some black around the edges. I can also do direct to paper around the edges to get a little bit more of a harder color edge. Then we will add the embossing powder again. It will only stick to the ink that's wet now, and then we will go ahead and heat it and go through the cooling process again. When this is cooled down, we can reverse the washer and do the reverse side. The washer is going to be still warm, so we're not going to want to take this and place this on the mat at this point. What we're going to do is take the stylus and we're going to apply the ink this time with the stylus. Then we will sprinkle the powder in between layers, go through the same process, and you have a two-sided pendant to wear.